Hi everyone. Hi everyone.
Hi everyone.
Hold on. Hi everyone. Xin chào các bạn. Hi everyone. Không có người ta nghe rồi. Ok. Tuy không có dây tai nghe nhưng mà mình sẽ hôm nay mình sẽ làm một số cái problem ở HackerRank. Thì basically mình sẽ làm cái problem ở đây. Đây là problem mà mình sẽ solve. Cái problem ở đây. Đây là problem mà mình sẽ solve. Ok, bây giờ mình sẽ làm problem dynamicArray. Let's solve the challenge. Thông cảm vì cái quạt của mình nó rất là ồn. Okay, so I'm going to speak in English. My computer fan is super loud right now and I haven't found an effective way to solve this, but it's going to be another story. Okay, so today, right now, we are solving dynamic array problems. It's supposed to be an easy problem, so let's so in the problem today, I would like to focus on the methods that we would use for coding interviews, which is combine several steps, such as you listen to a problem, you listen, aka you read the problems, which I'm going to do right now. Okay, so create a list of n empty sequences where each sequence is indexed from 0 to n minus 1. The elements within each of the n sequence also use 0 indexing. You know, these kind of problems, they use super complex words. For me, yes, I'm a total newbie, so I have no idea what it means. Create an integer last answer and initialize it to 0. The two types of queries that can be performed on your list of sequence list are described below. Query 1xy. Oh, that's interesting. I guess so for me it's easier for me to look at the example like this one and figure out what the code is supposed to do instead of reading a lot of words. But you know, in the interview, I'm pretty sure 99.9% that I have to come up with my own example. And also, during the example step, the example is not supposed to be too easy, too small, too simple. are too special, because for the special case is going to come up when I test my solution. So anyway, let's continue reading the problems. Two type of queries that can be performed on your list of sequence are described below. Query, okay, so there's two queries. Query 1 xy, I find a sequence at index. What is this thing? Last answer, more moduli, and in sequence list. Is this an easy example? I mean, lots of people solve it, so it's not that hard, I suppose. Append integer y to sequence. Find the sequence at index something in sequence list. Find the value of element y modulus side in sequence, where side is the side of sequence and assigned to last answer. Find the new value of last answer of our new line. What's the difference between this sequence? Oh, I see. The sequence have number 1 and this sequence, this query have number 1 and this query number 2. xy is probably input from user. So what I have to do is, given nq and q queries, execute each query. Oh, it's a bitwise XOR operator which correspond to this symbol operator in most languages. Okay. Input format, the first line contains 2 space separated integer n. In the meantime, I'm actually going to separate my screen like this. Given n, q, and q, so that like what, three kind of queries. Input format, the first line contains 2 space separated integer n. Okay, so the first line is the n query is the number of sequences, and q the number of queries respectively. Each of the q subquery lines contain a query in the format defined above. Here's are the constraints when I give when I test or giving an example. This is guaranteed that query type 2 will never query an empty sequence or index. For each type 2 query, bring the update value of the last answer on a new line. Okay, so if you can look at the sample input here, I'm trying. So for now, I'm pretty sure I'm still in the listen step or read, just because I'm trying to make sense of the whole thing. Okay, so the first line is supposed to define the number 2 and number 5. Now I know that number 5 means that there's like 5 extra line under it. And what is number 2? Is the number of sequences. What do you mean the number of sequences? What is a sequence? Create a list of n empty sequences. This makes sense. Two types of sequences of queries. Okay, so a query is essentially not a sequence. Okay, so I'm going to reread this part again, trying to make sense. So that would take about a minute or two So if you don't hear me saying anything, that probably I'm trying to read the problem and make sense of it. Probably take notes as well. So I'm drinking a cup of coffee right now. It's helped me focus. Oh yeah, don't look at this. This is my old problems. I'm going to create new problems. Cannot execute this. Let's create a new Python file. This is supposed to be, let's see. So I'm going to code this in Python 3. Okay, let's call it dynamicArray. DynamicArray. Okay, so it's asking me if I want to push, add the file to Git. Yes. I haven't fully understand how to use the version control system of PyCharm. I normally just do it straight up from the command line, but if I'll find a time to figure out how to use this, because I'm used to typing command like git add or git command. Okay, well that is a lot of code under here, but I shouldn't be worried about it. This is the part that I'm supposed to write my code on. So honestly, it's the best for me to write my code directly up here, just because whenever you go to a coding interview, you probably don't have like a really super nice super nice ID like PyCharm, because in PyCharm you can put in a breakpoint, and you can debug your code. And I'm going to make a video of how to debug in PyCharm, just because I'm so proud of it. Oh, I did not know that my screen is cutting like this. Let's expand this, and actually let's actually do this. Minimize it, kind of like this. Oh well, can't really do that, but it's okay. Still have to make sense of these problems. Oh, that's sample test case I can use later. Okay, since I am totally unable to read words by words and make sense to me, I'm going to let's try looking at the example and see what I got from there. Okay. So 2.5 these, okay. I explained files relay these 5 lines. Sample output 7.3, initial values, okay. That's n is equal to, last answer equals 0. So that 2, because 2, then you grade 2 list, query 0, append 5 to the sequence. Last answer equals 0. Oh, append 5, append 7, append 3. Honestly from what, oh, I see. So I see. Okay. Honestly, I solve a, let's read that. Honestly, I solve a problem that it might look complicated, but when you dive into it and when you write down and you find a pattern, then it's not very difficult to solve logic-wise. However, it's very long. It's not complex in terms of logic, but it's complex in terms of there's so many things going on. Okay, so from what I understand from this example, it's number 2 means that I have to create to list in Python and to array in other languages. To list 5, define like this 5 thing, which this number probably be useful when I create a loop that go through all of these lines. So what it does is that it follow this formula up here. It follow the formula, so 1xy, 2xy. There's only literally for 2 types of array. There's only one type formula, which is XOR last answer modulate n. So for the first line, it's essentially 1. I'm sorry, no, not 1. It's 0 because 0 is x. 0 XOR 0 modulate n is 2, and then whatever you get over here, the last number of the sequence of the query is going to be put into the corresponding list, which is 0 is going to be put in list 0. If this is 1, then 5 is going to be put in list 1. And same with 7. So let's take 7 because 7 is slightly different. For 7, you want to follow the formula, take the second number in the query, which is 1, XOR 0 and modulate 2, so that's like 1. So you got this, and then you put 7 into the second list, which is S1, because 1, 0. And then same for 3, you got 0 and just put it in the first list, assign value. So okay, so I got the basic understand of it. Let's see, query 3, query 4. Oh, okay, there's something going on over here. Query 3, assign a value, index 0 of sequence equal to 1 to last answer, print the last answer. Last answer equals 0 or equals 7. Assign a value index 1 of sequence. Okay. I guess. Oh, right. When it's come to these. Oh, so when you got 2. Okay, so far we only deal with the first type queries, but how about the second type? Second type queries. You're gonna start with number 2. You're gonna find a sequence. Follow the formulas. You get 0, 1, and then you find the value of elements. Find the value of elements. Y modulate side in sequence and assign it to a variable name called last answer. You bring the new variable last answer on the new line. Oh, I see. So because this is 210. You follow the same formula. X is 1, 1 x or 0 modulate 2 equal to 1, and then the last answer of list 1 is 7, so you print 7. Same with 211, 211 1 la 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 is this is the last sequence. I'm sorry, this is the last answer, right? This is the last answer. Last answer has always been 0, just because we never have. Okay, so basically when you start having the number, when you start having a line that starting with number 2, which means this whole thing, this line, it's the type 2 queries, then your formula is going to change. Everything's going to change after that. So basically right here, whenever the number type 2 queries start appear, you have to update the variable last answer, assign the value as index 0. Okay, you follow the that's weird. You follow the formula, 1 get to 2, you bring the last answer of query query 0 is 3, you bring 3, and that's about it. Okay, that sounds correct. I mean, what they're doing is, because honestly, whenever it's not like it burned. Actually, yes. Actually, the quality put out outputs when it had to do with type 2 queries. If they do with type 1, it's going to have to do something with the list, not printing out anything. So, I mean, if there are extra queries that going on after this and it's type 1, then it's kind of pointless. So I think this is a really good testing set. Okay, so let's start coding. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to have to figure out a way to divide my screen into 2 parts, just because I am streaming on a screen that is very large. I'm streaming from my extra monitor, and it's giant, but somehow YouTube scale it into the scaling of live streaming on YouTube is really weird, so bear with me. Okay, so maybe you all understand the problems, and I need more space to code, so let's just coding, and you guys don't need to read this. So what do I think? Is it a difficult problems? It's, again, this is the type of problems that it's labeled easy, so it's not supposed to be too hard for me to solve. It's not too complex in terms of data structure and algorithms, because honestly what you're doing is the only data structure here it's a list, that's all. But there's a lot of rules making up, like I wonder who wrote this problems. Okay, so I have to make my point again that I'm a newbie here, so obviously I'm to start learning how to do coding interview, and I don't have a lot of experience professionally. Oh god. I'm gonna go on YouTube real quick to see how is the video doing. That's a weird thumbnails, but I'm going to fix that. Okay, so 24 minutes and we have been just analyzed this giant problems. I believe in an interview nobody's gonna give me this so complex problem. It's not even a problem. It's like a riddle. It's like, oh, I have to think about and solve it. Like, you know, remember those kind of problems? You're like, who's lying, who's telling the truth, and it's like that. Just so many steps. Okay, so according to the coding interview step we just finished, we were giving an example, so I don't think we need to go to the example part anymore. Okay, now let's go to our all-time favorite step, which is the first step that we need to do. It's have a name called, it's called brute force. Let's brute force a solution for these problems. Okay, so the point of the brute force solution is quick. It's an easy solution that is like the first solution that I think of. Is not optimal at all, so it can be n squared 2 to the n whatever. It's terrible, but it works. The only thing that matters that it works. So let's come up with the brute force problem. Okay. If this is my input, then I'm going to need to this is my I'm gonna repeat a lot, so bear with me. If this is my input, then I'm gonna have like a giant for loop that go through every single element of this. So it's gonna have to read line by lines. The first line is very special, so the processing is actually gonna start on the second line to like the last line over here. Okay, first line, I'm gonna initiate number 2, associate number 2 with a variable. With a variable, basically. If actually number 2 here, actually, what if there is a number 3, which means that there are 3 lists, and could it be possible that modulate and modulate? Oh, I see. I'm curious. Number 2 is used to whatever I got over here. It's mod 2 and then equal to 0 and 1. But how about let's see, 5. I'm just trying to think if there is possible to have 3 values. Yes, there is possible to have 3 values. So we have to solve it, not in a specific way, but have to be in a general way. Okay, so 2 can be in a loop. So I'm actually going to write a bunch of comments here. Write a bunch of stuff here, and then I'm gonna comment them afterward. Okay, so make a loop. So like read line by line. I'm pretty sure this is probably not the best practice for coding interview, because in coding interview you're supposed to solve it like under 30 minutes or exactly 30 minutes. But since I'm a newbie here and this is for practicing purpose, I'm going to write a lot, and hopefully as time goes by I'm gonna start picking it up and you know, shorten the time and make it more efficient. I'm gonna read line by line. So basically the first line, the first number is like so for this specific case I'm going to create number of list based on the n, which is the first number. So 5 and 2 means to list. So in Python we use list, we use array. I don't know what array is. I do know what array is, but in Python is like, what the heck is an array? This is so easy to deal with. Okay. Fives means there's 5 lines, so I can use 5 to define the loop. First line for I in yada yada, sorry, for 5 in 0, 6 something, because we go to like actually 0 to 5. Actually, I don't know. 5 times 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sounds about right. 0 to 5 and range like 0 to second number on first line, and then I'm gonna start reading line by line. Actually, thinking about it, how do I even use this? How do I do this in Python? Let's just read it real quick. It's a bitwise XOR. How do you do a bitwise XOR in Python? We don't know that. There's a lot of words. Let's see, bitwise XOR in. I wonder if Python have a function that help you with XOR, because I don't know. Let's see. Binary XOR. This worked. Oh yeah, it totally worked. Okay, what it does is, if it's in so we all know this is in decimal, right? But you know the computer read it as binary, so it's like breaking down decimal into binary, and then like it's do the XOR in binary. So honestly, all we have to do is type this. So I'm gonna make a note here, like note XOR in Python is literally this. Okay. So I don't have to worry about it anymore. So my formula is, I'm going to break it down formula right now. X last answer, and then modulate in okay, let's read this line by line. There's weird noise going on upstairs, so if anyone hear that, just ignore it. Okay. So, what we have to do every time we start doing something is that we have to check the first element of the line. If it is a 1, is like second case. If it is a 2, then you do like things differently. Okay, if it is a 1, what do you do? What do you do? If it is a 1, then honestly, I just want to start doing the formula. Actually, yeah, this is the case. You do this. You do the formula. You calculate. Okay, if it is a 1, then we all know that we had to put something on the list. The goal is to put in. What's the point of using on? Okay, you calculate the list number. So like this, and then there's a last answer. Oh, and pretty sure before I do everything, I have to initialize the last answer, but we'll remember to do that. Just put it over here. Initialize a very important variable called last answer. Modulate by n. Actually, n it's initialize up here, so can just omit that. So you like calculate this, and then if it is a 0, 1, 2, yada yada, we want to put like whatever it have, we want to put the third number of the list to the corresponding array. So corresponding means 0 means the first list, but we have to have some kind of mechanism to mark which is the first list, which is the first, which is the second, which is the third list. Or I can just have a bunch of if statement here. I don't even know what about the complexity of it, but this is the brute force. This is essentially a brute force method. So we'll think about the of efficiency later. The third number, okay, you put in the third number. Basically, what do you do? Just like append it. Yeah, that's it. And you move on. If the number is a 2, then all you have to do over here is change the, I'm sorry, actually before that, we want to change the last answer, and you bring the last answer. What the heck is the last answer here? Let me explain to you. You calculate, you will do the same calculating x formula. Why do I keep typing gibberish? Last answer, and then modulate by n. Probably the first time that 2 appear, and it's sorry, last answer is probably the same thing, but you know, after that it's changed. It's like it's got updated, it's changed. Okay, so they basically there's if statement. So if it is 0, 1, 2, yada yada, whatever array. Oh my god, it's automatically formatting for me. Whoa, what a privilege. You take out the last number. Yeah, the last number of the array. So the funny thing is, if it's a single element in an array, then just take that out. It doesn't have to be. It is the last number. It's the first number and the last number. You take out the first number array, and then you like assign it to last answer, and then we print it out. Yeah, this is essentially the whole algorithm. Honestly, when you think about it, that's only like. So, I'm totally not an expert in efficiency, big O notation, complexity, whatever it's called, but this is clearly the number of elements, and you read the elements, you read each elements, you go through each line, each element once. So I believe I think it's O of n, just because you loop through each of these and you process it. So each element got read once. So that should be O of n. I don't know if there are any so let's say if it's a loop, then start reading line by line. Yeah, this is still O of n. You read each element. O of n, each element got read once. The more efficient way of O of n, it's from what I read, it's log n. However, there is literally no way that you can do O of log n up here, because I haven't figured out that way. So I think for now, O of n is totally fine, and what I have to do next is implement this whole thing over here and turn it into executable codes. Okay, so everyone, if you struggling how to comment everything at once in PyCharm, it just let me try it again. Okay, so you press Control and the / and then you can comment out and delete the comment all at once. That's a lot of code. Okay, so I saw what people did, just like for coding interview, they just like write just write a function. You don't need a class, just to write a single function. So dynamicArray and queries. Oh boy, the way it's not structured here, who knows? I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom break, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I'm back. Let's write some beautiful codes. Okay, so normally I would write my code. I would provide mail inputs and mail structure, but since what kind of structure is this? This better be a 2D array. You know what? It is a 2D array queries. Okay, so oh, I see. Well, that's very interesting. You know what interesting? It doesn't take in the array as this, as like 1, 2, and then like the next array is like this. It's like taking the direct input from the freaking command line. I honestly powered by coffee. I drink a lot of coffee every day. A day without coffee, it's like a year with boring or something like that. I don't know. Okay, I think I got it. Okay, so according to our beautiful pseudocode right here, we want to initialize a variable called last answer first. Then we basically loop through the array. No, it should be Q, yeah. And I believe okay, queries, it's a collection of, oh my god, it's used a map in input result. The function is expected to return an integer array. Oh, I saw instead of printing out the result, I'm supposed to put them into an array and print everything later. That could be, yeah, result before. Okay, so it's basically return an integer array, integer list. I wondered why there's a map here. This is an empty list. Queries append. Okay, I'm guessing the queries that we are doing is in this form, 1, 2, 3. I guess, I don't know. If it is the case, then for all of this, every time you do a 2D array, you have to read it. You have to read. You have to go through the row first, and then you go to the columns. When it's an end, the column at the column, you move on to the next row. So it should be. I mean, there is 2 for loops, and you read each element once. Then I probably have to discuss this. What is I'm assuming queries is a collection of list. So instead of saying, of course I have to loop through the whole thing first. So instead of saying that, I'm actually going to do len queries. It return the length of the list, and then for each line, so for j in range, again from 0 to queries dot I, the code, our code, which is from here to here, starting over here. We check the first element of the line. Okay, so when you want to check the first element of the line, it's if query I 0 equal to 1, it's either 1 or 0, and then case 1. I normally like to write kind of like this. I honestly don't know if I need the parentheses. I feel I don't have to. It's because I did some of this code in the past and it doesn't need that. Second case, if it's 2, then we have case number 2. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, we have a long way to go. Wanna calculate? Let's put this into. Okay. Put a formula to use. So we're going to. Right now we're doing the first step here, which is calculate this number. the prompt said that I should use this variable name. Okay, X is essentially just query I1 last answer, then modulated by n if sequence. We can have a bunch of first, whatever. Well, actually, we don't know how big this is going to be. It is like hundreds of different type. Then it's not going to be limited from just 2 lists. There's a lot, so we have to really write a generic solution. Okay, so now we have problems. How do we map these sequence numbers into the numbers of queries that we have? Actually, one way that we can do, oh yeah, we already have this number. It's basically equal to j. I guess we can use that. Then I guess we don't need to write an if statement anymore. I just straight up append it into the. So what I mean is queries query sequence, yes, seq dot append the third number queries. God damn it. Okay. Oh, we haven't created a list. Oh, I totally forgot about that. We have to, okay. We have to create a number of lists that's corresponding to n. And the number of lists could just be, so for I in range 0 and list equal maybe I want a list of lists just so it's easier later. How do you append a list inside a list? Do you append an empty list? Is it even possible? So it means instead of having S0 and S1, I put S0 and S1 into a list. So it's basically equal to, if you compare it to the prompt, then it's just S0, S1, S2, and then yada yada. Again, I'm writing the code really quick, so I haven't checked the logic, but hopefully the logic. Oh, I can always debug it later. yeah, so if the queries is 1, then I have this, then I'm supposed to append supposed to be list yes, dot append queries. Oh my god, I keep making typos. Query of what? Query of why? Oh god, okay, this is not correct. Query of why? Why? It's supposed to be the the third element. So that's it. All I do is append third element, third number to this. Okay. So for the second case, use my algorithm up here. Same. I can just probably copy this. My mentor is texting me. I'm going to respond to her message real quick. Calculate this. take out the last number, assign it to the last answer, and print it out. Oh, I see. So the sequence number will determine this. So number equal to list execute and then length of list -1. I don't know if I can do this. Honestly, what I'm trying to do is this is what I'm trying to do. I want to take out, so the sequence determine the index of the list inside the list, and I want to take out the last elements in the list that it chose. So then list equal 1 supposed to be the it's pointing out something for me. Oh my gosh. Okay, that should be good now. Because when I put up here, it's like list is it's not an integer number, so it's like confusing. Like what the heck? Number equal this sequence, and essentially instead of print it out, let's see, result. The way that this exercise wants is it doesn't want me to directly print it out. I have to like this write and close function. I used to use similar to thing like this in Java. It's a stream, it's taking inputs and it's writing out output, whatever. It doesn't use print at all, so I guess I had to comply with that number, and then result dot append number. Honestly, so far, okay, typo here, number. So far, syntax wise, no, nothing really happened. I detect there might be some logic. Of course, there's always runtime errors occurs, like every single line of code, every code that I write, there's gonna be runtime occur. If it's run too smoothly in the first run, then something going on, like what's going on. There's always problems. You always expect there's always problems. So honestly, I would like to learn what is how to determine the complexity of this one. Right now I don't know because I'm not very good at it, but I'll try to read more about it, so that's all. Okay, so I'm going to log out. I'm going to be in a meeting in 15 minutes, and let's try to see if we can run this. So let's write some test. I'm going to use the exact sample that I have over here. Oh wait, relax. Something that I forgot to do is I forgot to update the last answer. After I take it out, I have to update last answer to number. That's it. This is very hard to see. I guess it's expecting me to have some space. PyCharm is very detail oriented. It wants me to have nice and neat codes. Like, it really wants me. See, that's like it's errors. It's so cranky. It wants so many things from me. And then 2, 1, 1. Oh god. Okay, dynamic array. Instead of return result, I'm just gonna print result. I guess I don't need this. Okay, so far nothing has screaming wrong syntax. Let's run this. It's probably not gonna work, but oh well. Yep, add expected. Okay, so the first error is line 41, lines 27 over here. It said that list object cannot be interpreted as an integer. This is line 27. Basically right now I'm looking like why. Oh, I see. When I have a, yeah, I totally forgot about this. When I have an element, I don't need to do it like that. This is totally wrong. I don't have to set a range. I just have to. Okay, now we have difference arrow. It said list indices must be integer or line, not list. Oh, I see. Huh. I totally forgot how to query. Let's see. I solved a similar problems in, yeah, okay. This is totally correct, but what I had to do is just this. Yes. Now let's run it again. Okay, now we have a lot of numbers, and this number is all wrong. At least we have something running, which is not bad. It's supposed to only print 7 and 3, but where are these numbers come from? We don't know. That's why we're going to debug. Okay everyone, that's it for today. At least we have something working. Not perfect, but I will come back and I will continue after my meeting. See you guys later.